Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Spook House Belfry. My name is Farron, and tonight our special guest is this adorable little black cloud named Mama. She's decided to crash the video tonight, so you're gonna have to deal with her. Tonight we're gonna be talking about a book, which is a little bit different than what some of you may or may not have been expecting from this channel, but we're gonna be talking about a book. The book we're talking about is Slewfoot by Brom. This book came out last year. And Brom is one of my absolute favorite authors, but I completely missed the fact that this book came out, which just shows how absolutely batshit insane the last couple of years have been. I have an unhealthy, possibly toxic relationship with reading. I read way too much, and Brom is one of my absolute favorite authors, hands down. I've read everything he's written, and it's all been really delightfully gritty and very dark, and it's so good. So I'm gonna try and make this as spoiler-free as possible. There may be some minor spoilers, so if you're very spoiler sensitive, maybe skip over this, because I know I am, and I generally won't watch anything or read anything about anything that I'm interested in, be it video games or books or whatever. Because even the slightest spoiler tends to completely turn me off of whatever it is. So if that's not your deal, I'm not going to be offended. You can go ahead and click off, and I'll completely understand. But, okay, this story is about a young woman named Abatha. It is set in the late 1600s, to be specific, because, you know, can't be on the nose. It's set in 1666, because of course it is, in Connecticut. As many of you know, New England during this time period in real life was a hotbed of everyone freaking out thinking everyone was a witch. That's kind of how this book goes. It has some really wonderful characters in it, including Abatha. She is exactly the kind of female character that we need right now in a book, as in she takes no shit from anyone, and trust me, a lot of shit gets thrown her way. A lot. But the thing that really sold me on this, besides the fact that Slewfoot himself is being treated as not just the devil, not just some vengeful, destructive forest spirit, but as someone or something that can grow. And his growth, in many ways, mirrors hers. But my absolute favorite thing about this book, like the absolute best part of it for me, was the ending. Now, I don't know if any of you are like this, but I have a very hard time finding endings in stories that I really enjoy. A lot of times, it's not usually what I remember about a story, and there's been plenty of times where, for me, the ending has ruined the story for me. That's not the case in this book. This is going to be a spoiler, so I'm warning you now. The whole thing ends with her just raining holy vengeance down on this entire town that has abused her physically, emotionally, psychologically, that's just treated her like absolute shit through the whole story. And they spend an awful lot of time convinced and blaming her of being a witch. And the fact that she did that, well, if you're gonna call me that, I'm gonna be that thing, is just so satisfying. She doesn't turn the other cheek and be the bigger person and forgive and forget all of the abuse that's been put upon her by these horrible people. She makes them pay for it and owns her vengeance. She takes ownership of her anger and uses it as a tool instead of letting it fester or straight up ignoring it. I think Mama's getting sick of me talking. But it's nice to see a female character who isn't just being made to feel small and then just sort of settles into that idea. She basically is a complete and total outcast from the society that she's been married into, not even by choice. She didn't even choose to be there. But the fact that she decides that the way that they treat her needs to be paid back it's refreshing. It's nice to have a story that ends with a little bit of vengeance instead of forgiveness. So I really do suggest reading it. It's got some seriously wonderful illustrations of some seriously wonderful characters. it's full of very dark, very dismal situations, and at many points in the book I felt like, holy shit, this poor woman. It all just makes up for it at the end. You know? Like, it's so good. Like, I'm having a hard time even finding a way to put it into words in a way that makes sense and is coherent, in part because I have memory issues, and I read this a couple of months ago, but I didn't want to go another couple of weeks without a video, and I'm trying to be a little more consistent, so you're gonna have to deal with my horrible, rambly review that makes no sense. Read this freaking book! Like, it's so good. I hate super happy, like, white knighty kind of endings to stories, and I want more female characters who are being treated badly and decide to not take it anymore. And I especially love that this is a story about a woman who's being accused of being a witch by this holier-than-thou puritanical society in Connecticut, and she decides, yeah, you know what, fuck it, that's what it's gonna, that's how this is gonna go. And she just fucks their entire day up. It's wonderful. It's so good. A lot of his books, though, I don't know if many of you have read any of his other books. I think the two most popular are probably The Plucker, which is a very short book. This one's only 300 pages, so it's not very long either. But it's mostly illustrated. It's a beautiful book. And The Child Thief, which is like a very dark retelling of Peter Pan, and it is super good. Other than Slewfoot, I think my favorite book of his has probably got to be Lost Gods, and it is a massive book. It's so big, and it's every bit worth it. I definitely, if you haven't read Brom, go pick up something. It doesn't even have to be Slewfoot, just go pick up something by Brom, because I promise you, if you're anything like me and you like these really dark, gritty storytelling styles where things are not good at all for anyone involved in the story, you'll really enjoy his writing. It's but I think that might be it for tonight. I know this is a somewhat shorter video, especially compared to the videos that I used to make. But regardless, if you sat through this whole thing and you don't absolutely hate it and you want to see more book reviews, things like that, I'd be more than happy to do some more reviews on some other horror novels that I've read recently. Things like that. There will be some more Halloween-ish reviews coming up here soon. It all depends on finances, and much like everyone else right now, finances are kind of wobbly, so it may or may not be very, very soon. But I do have a lot of books that I can review because, like I said, I've got a bad relationship with reading, and I've read a lot lately. So I'd be happy to do some more book reviews, maybe some better ones where my thoughts are a little bit more concise and more planned out, if that's what you want. Or I can continue to do these horrible, rambly, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about reviews, because I'm good at those. Those don't take any planning. I can just sit here and run my mouth off and act like I know what I'm talking about, which I'm good at. But if you did watch it, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm still getting back into the swing of making videos. It's been a long time since I've made them, and I missed it a lot. And I will get better at this soon. As soon as I get back into the swing, getting used to talking to the camera again and keeping my thoughts making sense, things will get better, and maybe I'll even start doing a better job editing shit. It won't happen. I'm still gonna be bad at editing. Okay, alright, if you want more reviews, if you want to see me eating random shit, because that's probably gonna happen to you, if you want to hear me talk about more books, if you want to, I don't fucking know, just watch me be an idiot for 10-15 minutes, subscribe. Hit the like button. Do all that shit that everyone on YouTube asks you to do. I'm gonna ask you to do it. Do it. Please? Come on. Okay, alright. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will catch you next time.